It is 10 minutes after 10, and we have Mr. Burnson, Mrs. Chick, Ms. Galanter, Ms. Misakowski, Mr. Pacheco, Mr. Padilla, Mrs. Walters. We have 8 members present. We need 2 for a quorum. Ms. Goldberg, we have 9 members. We need 1 for a quorum. Call the roll. Council will come to order, please.
Burnson, Chick, Fuhrer, Galanter, Gober, Hernandez, Holden, Miskowski, Pacheco, Padilla, Ridley Thomas, Furnish, Wax, Walters, Ferraro, 10 members present and a quorum, Mr. President.
Okay, this is a meeting of the City Council for the City of Los Angeles on the 17th day of August, 1999. There are 15 council districts in the city. The regular meeting days are Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. We are currently being viewed by cable subscribers throughout the Los Angeles area on Channel 35, and we're also being monitored by council phone. So the first order of business.
Approval of the minutes.
All right, Mr. Padilla moves, Mrs. Walters second. If there's no objections, unanimous vote. The next item.
Commendatory resolutions for approval.
If there's no objections, unanimous vote. Ms. Goldberg?
Just for an introduction. Thank you. Mr. President, members of the council, visiting the, as a guest of the Quality and Productivity Commission of the City of Los Angeles is a group from the Bangkok, Thailand Metropolitan Authority officials. And this group is here today. By the way, I was informed, I didn't know this, but Bangkok, translated into English, means City of Angels. So it would be very interesting contrast or comparison, I should say, to our own city's name. The World Bank is supplying loans to Thailand, and it's our understanding that as a part of the loan package, Thailand is working on learning and implementing new and innovative structures regarding municipal government and municipal management. They're working on issues that we're working on: responsiveness to customers, motivation of employees to develop world-class teams and services, incentive programs, work process improvements, and in general, becoming more entrepreneurial in the management of services. These are 7 dignitaries from Bangkok, Thailand. 3 representatives from Brigham Young University are also here and are going to be working with them. Prior to their visit to Los Angeles, this team met with representatives from Salt Lake City, Utah, Portland, Oregon, and of course the County of Los Angeles. Following our recognition, they're going to be briefed on key elements of the topics that I've just mentioned, and then the delegation will see ATSAC at 1:30 and also go out to the harbor, so, or hear from the harbor. So in any case, on behalf of the President of the Council and all the members of the Council, we welcome your delegation. We are pleased that you had a time to drop by our council chambers this morning, and we look forward to a frank and wonderful exchange of ideas and programs, and to learn from you and to tell you how we're working on some of the very same problems that you're working on. So welcome to Los Angeles.
Thank you, Ms. Goldberg. The next, Mrs. Walters. Did you want to introduce?
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. President. Here. Good morning, council members. This is Nisei Week time again, and Mrs. Frances Hashimoto is here representing the Little Tokyo Business Association and the Nisei Week festivities. And we have with us today the Nisei Queen and her court. And I'm going to ask Ms. Hashimoto to introduce them, and we will present them with a congratulatory certificate.
Ladies and gentlemen of the council, we really thank you very much during Nisei Week for your support. where it's going on now. We invite you to come out and join us on the streets of Little Tokyo, which is, even during your breaks, we have exhibits and different demonstrations. Thank you. And I'd like to, yes, introduce the general chairman for this year, Mr. Tim Itatani. And if the girls will please come up, Tracy, and then you can put, okay. Stay there. And then you can put it.
This is Tracy Murasi, who is the queen this year. Okay.
Good morning, everyone. On behalf of Nisei Week, I just wanted to say that we really appreciate your support, and we hope to see you out this week at the different activities. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And then we have Jennifer Nana Yoshida, who is the first princess.
Galanter's out, Ridley Thomas is out,
Okay.
Sabornis,
Thank you.
and Wax.
I just want to say thank you very much to everyone for all of your support and generosity, and I too hope to see all of you out in Little Tokyo. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you. Naomi Takahashi, who is Ms. Tomodachi. Okay. Yes.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Naomi Takahashi. For those of you who don't know what tomodachi means, that means friendship, I guess. So, so basically the same thing as Miss Congeniality. But I just want to say thank you very much for having us here. It's a pleasure, and we really hope that we can see you throughout this week and this weekend at our carnival, at our Ondo dancing, which is Japanese traditional dancing, and all the other festivities that we have ahead of us. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And Elisa Hana Hiraga, who's one of the princesses. Yes.
Good morning, everyone. I'd like to thank you for your support, and it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you again.
Thank you. And Midori Nakamura, also a princess. Thank you. Yes, thank you.
Hi, my name is Deanna. Midori would be my middle name, Japanese middle name. And I wanted to thank you all for having us come out and just to be able to experience coming to City Hall. Thank you.
Thank you. And now the last princess, but certainly not least, is Jennifer Mariko Yamada.
Hi, thank you very
Yes.
Good morning, everyone. I'd just like to say thank you for your continued support, and I do also look forward to seeing you at the Nisei Week activities this week. Thank you very much.
All right. And council members, once again, they have brought Nisei Week booklet for each of you, so they will come around and pass them out. Or are they being passed out already? No, the Queen and her court will pass the books out. Thank you. And those of you who were at the Nisei Week Parade this last weekend, I'm sure enjoyed it as much as I did. And those of you who were not there missed a great event.
Thank you. Yes. Read it, and then we'll go and pass it.
How are you, dear?
Okay, I guess you had a busy week. All the dignitaries are gone now.
Yeah.
Nagoya. Are you going to Nagoya?
When are they going to go?
The Matsuri is 15th, 16th of October. That weekend, you know, they have. But it should be nice, the 40th.
Okay, Mrs. Walters, thank you very much. Okay, the next item.
Item 21 on the regular agenda is a request to continue that matter until September 8th.
If there's no objection, 21 will be continued until September 8th.
Item number 29, 30, and 31, a request to refer those matters back to the Information Technology and General Services Committee.
If there's no objections, unanimous vote on those.
Item 41, a request to refer that matter to the Budget and Finance Committee.
If there's no objections, unanimous vote.
On the regular agenda, commission appointment, reappointment of Thaddeus Wellis to the Martin Luther King General Hospital Authority.
Is item number 4, Mr. Willis, is Mr. Willis here? Come forward. This is a reappointment.
Yes, it is.
Any discussion? If not, prepare the roll, tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
Doctor, you've been reappointed, and we want to thank you. I'd like, if you stand by, I want to talk to you in a few minutes. In fact, come over here. Next item.
Item number 5 is a reappointment of Claire Rothman to the Board of Los Angeles Convention Center.
This is another reappointment of an outstanding individual who's worked hard for the convention center. Any discussion on this reappointment? If not, prepare the roll, tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
And that is approved. Claire, thank you for all your good work, and we'll send it forthwith.
Thank you very much.
Okay, the next item.
Item number 6 is appointment of Linda Harris Forster to the Board of Animal Regulation.
Mrs. Forrester, this is a new appointment. Is there any discussion on this? If not, prepare the roll, tabulate the vote.
12 ayes. You need to speak to him.
Ms. Harris, you've been confirmed. Thank you for serving the city. Next item.
Item number 47 on the continuation agenda is appointment of Helen Mars to the Board of Civil Service Commissioners.
Mrs. Mars, would you please take the center table? This is a new appointment. Ms. Goldberg?
We heard that in Personnel Committee, and we went through some questions about why she wanted to do this and so forth and so on. And the one question that I did forget to ask, I'm just going to ask it here now, is do you feel like, because there's the issue, oh, we went through that, because you were a special advisor to the chief, right? Okay. And I asked you about, I wanted to make that clear. We asked about whether or not that would make it difficult since those issues come to the commission, and you answered.
I didn't find that a problem, and correction.
Get close.
Not special advisor to the chief, police reserve.
Police reserve, but it isn't, it did say on the resume advisor to the chief. And you told me that that was basically what?
It's an honorary position.
It's an honorary thing. I just wanted to mention that because it did come up, and if you got her resume, you might be concerned about that, because the issue that we were discussing in committee was the need to be able to be independent of the chief's office, as the chief and the commission often do not
I can assure you
disagree.
that Mrs. Mars is very independent.
Right, no, I simply wanted to reassure people that we went through this in committee because it was on the resume, and that's the only reason I rose. We came out with a unanimous recommendation, and I will move her confirmation.
Thank you,
Mr.
Ms. Goldberg.
Benson?
Thank you.
The chief also, but he doesn't listen to me either, Helen, so, you know. I just want to say that I think this is an outstanding appointment. I've known Helen Mars for quite some time. She's a person of great integrity, and I think she'll do a great job. And I'm very happy that she's willing to serve the city. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, prepare the roll on the appointment of Mrs. Mars. Tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
That is approved. Helen, thank you for offering to serve the city, and we'll send that forthwith. Next item.
Thank you. May I say one word, please? Or just a few words?
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, council members, for your vote of confidence. I've been here many times as a supporter and a cheerleader, and I'm proud to be here as your new commissioner. Thank you very much.
You've been on that, you've been on some committee we've had, youth. Yeah. Domestic violence?
Yes.
Okay.
I represented you, Mr. President.
Okay.
Thank
Okay,
you.
You protected the council members against domestic violence. I know. Okay. Thank you. The next item.
Item number 49 on the continuation agenda is appointment of Beverly Ziegler to the Board of Social Service Commissioners.
Beverly Ziegler, I don't know if we can get the votes for Beverly today. We may have to continue this. we may have to continue this one, I think. Members,
Councilman, you wouldn't want to extend this another 40 years, would you?
one of my oldest friends in the council.
Thank you.
Prepare the roll on the appointment of Beverly Ziegler. Tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
Beverly been confirmed by the city council. We want to thank you for serving the city and forthwith.
Thank you very much, Councilman. I look forward to working with all of you, and it has been my pleasure in the last many years, so thank you.
Item 21, is it? Or? No, not
48.
48.
Talking about
Klein or something? Yeah.
48 is the deputy superintendent.
Yeah. We have also item 48. Mr. Clem. You want to come forward? This is appointment of Deputy Superintendent of Building and Safety. Is there any discussion on this appointment? If not, prepare the roll. Tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
Thank you very much.
You've been confirmed, and we want to thank you, and congratulations on your promotion.
Thank you very much. Okay.
Forthwith on that. Next item.
Next item.
Can we move 4 through 6?
4 through 6 forthwith, please.
Item number 1 on the regular agenda is a public hearing item.
No, we don't have any cards on item 1.
Okay.
We have no cards on item number 1, so we'll declare the public hearing open and closed. The matter is before us.
Continue the hearing and the ordinance.
All right, so we're going to continue the hearing. We will not close the hearing, but we have no cards today. We'll continue the hearing open and the ordinance to September 7th to consider a report on any protests that may be submitted as a result of balloting.
Madam
Next
President?
item.
Madam President?
I'm sorry.
I actually
Mr.
could use
Feuer.
some guidance as to when this is in order. The President had brought item 30 out back to committee and deferred the matter today. It's a matter on which the PUC will be voting next week. The current chair of the committee has concurred that it need not be referred back to committee again. What we have before us emerged from the committee under Mr. Ridley Thomas. Mr. Padilla has consented to have the matter be heard today rather than deferred as the President had indicated, and I'd ask that we reconsider 30 for the purpose of hearing it today.
Why did we refer it? Did I miss that? Oh, I see. All right, and the new chair has concurred that we don't.
Correct. The new chair concurs we can hear the matter
correct,
at
Mr.
whatever
Padilla?
time the President would deem
All
appropriate.
right, well, let's do it now. So we'll reconsider the referral of item 30 to committee, and let's just put it back on the agenda, and we'll get to it when we get to it.
Get to it when we get to it rather than do it now. Can we just do it now?
Well, let me just make sure we don't have, it doesn't matter to me, we can do it now. Let's do
Yeah,
item
I'd ask that we
30.
just do it now if we could.
All right. I'm sorry. You guys are all,
Oh, just,
we had already referred it to committee, and we took it out of order simply because we were going to refer it to
but
committee.
while it's here, we can either vote on it now or later. I don't care, but if we have it here.
Let's go through the agenda. We'll
Fine.
get there. Don't worry, we'll get there.
Thank
I
you, Madam
promise.
President.
If we don't get there, I'll pull it out of order later. All right. Now, let's go back to where we were. Item 2, I believe.
A unanimous vote on item number 1.
Yes.
Item number 2 is also a public hearing item.
Wait a minute. I thought on item number 1, we just kept the hearing open, so why are we voting on it? To continue. Okay, thank you. All right, item 2. Item 2 is for an item hearing protests. We have none before us. So we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to continue the hearing open and continue the hearing and the ordinance to September 7th. Without objection, that'll be the order.
Item number 3 is a public hearing item. Ms. Walters has called that item special.
In that case, Mrs. Walters?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I had called a special...
Excuse me, could you push your button, just so
Oh,
I have
sorry.
the timer thing on here? Go.
Okay. I had called a special, but for waiting the distribution of a motion here on this. So item 3C would be to instruct the Building and Safety Department to waive the total amount of the proposed set assessment, and then we would receive and file A and B.
I'm sorry.
Item 3C
yes,
is a
is-
motion that's being distributed. It's being, it instructs the department to waive the total amount of the fees and receive and file A and B.
All right, is there anyone else who wants to be heard on this item? We have then item 3C before us. Seeing no one else, open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
ayes.
That
right.
is approved as...
And, right, and we'll receive and file A and B.
Right.
3A and B.
That's correct. So do we need a vote to receive and file?
No, we don't
Okay,
need a
we're
vote.
done.
Okay. Thank you.
Next item.
Items numbers 7 through 13 on the regular agenda are items for which public hearings have been held.
There any council members who wish to discuss anything in that list? No specials? Open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
Thank you. Next item.
Item number 14 on the regular agenda is a bid. The bids were opened this morning, and the CEO has prepared a resolution for council to adopt awarding the bid to Merrill Lynch for an aggregate principal amount of $60 million with a true interest cost of 5.206087%.
Is there anybody who wishes to say anything on item number 14? Hearing none, open the roll. I'm sorry, Mr. Hernandez, what?
If Mr. Deaton could come up on a second, because we're talking about the first $60 million that'll be going to the library.
I guess for $60 million, we ought to have Mr. Deaton.
And I didn't want to, but what I wanted to put an emphasis on, and ask for some kind of reporting back. I noticed there's two oversight committees in regards to the expenditures, one for the zoo and one for the library commissions. In regards to the zoo, we have the CLA's office, as well as the CAO's office, as well as the engineer, someone from the zoo, as well as the council member that represents the zoo, that being Council President Ferraro, as part of the oversight committee. And I think that part of that reasoning would allow for Councilmember Ferraro to bring in any motions that are necessary to basically make sure the work gets done right and gets done expediently. As we're dealing with the first issuance of bonds and the oversight committee that's part of the discussion of the report for the libraries, we have the CLA's office as well as CSO, the engineer, and someone from the library department. But you really don't have anybody from the council offices where all these libraries are being built. We're having ongoing meetings with the library department as to how to make sure these libraries get built in a timely manner. And I'll give you an example. The regional library in Highland Park, the Arroyo Seco Library, is actually going to be closed while they're building a new library. And so we're losing the services of a regional library. So from my perspective, it's of utmost importance that it be done expediently and coordinated in a very good fashion. Now, I don't want you to think that I don't have confidence in city departments being able to coordinate work and so forth, but I've had the opportunity to see the Staples Centers get built. I've had the opportunity to see freeways get built like within 6 months, but I've never seen our departments be able to construct something in timely manners. And when I'm saying timely manners, we know dollars are involved with time. What is it that you believe we're going to be doing differently this time to make sure that we can build them faster? And I'm not talking about 4 years, I'm talking about 2 years. And maybe you could share some thoughts in that realm. And I also am concerned that the council offices that are impacted by these libraries have an opportunity to be part of that oversight, but rather not in the delaying, but in the expediting. Anything we can do to bring in motions to coordinate efforts.
council office is always involved in expediting, never in delaying. What we've done is structured this much like the City Hall project, in which the key players have responsibilities, the city administrative office, city engineer, and library department. And also, we've hired outside construction management firm to go over the estimates and also help us through the process, just like we have on the City Hall project, and we plan to do on the public safety one if it had passed. And we're also doing the same thing on the zoo project. The intent is to have an outside firm provide a different level of expertise than we've had in the past, the oversight committee to provide the impetus and the drive to get it done quickly. And we'd be happy to share the schedules, and when those council offices, they're always welcome at the meeting, number one, and we'll notice each office first off, and secondly, when we're discussing the scheduling, et cetera, of those particular those particular libraries in those districts, we'll make a special point to make sure your office or other offices are present.
Okay. And members of the council, I just want to share that the same kind of oversight structure was created in the steering committee for Prop K. And even though some of us might be frustrated, I think Prop K is basically being involved in the land acquisition and construction of projects faster than we've ever seen before as a city in regards to recs and parks. And so again, I just appreciate the oversight, and I just want to put that emphasis on us trying to do this in a timely manner.
Actually, you're right, Mr. Anderson. I'd forgotten about Prop K. Actually, I was even accused of being mean the last meeting.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else want to be heard on this?
Anyone else think there's on
These are library bonds and zoo bonds. The zoo bonds, what was the percentage, 81%?
It was 5.206087%.
No, I'm talking about the percentages.
About the vote, and I think it was, my recollection was 79%, but I wouldn't want to suggest that you were exaggerating. Maybe that...
Prepare the roll, tabulate the vote. Oh, Mr. Calander, I'm sorry.
Sit down. I've already talked with the library department about this, and I've already talked a little bit with the zoo about this, but can you somehow among you assure me that there is a mechanism, or will be a mechanism, for making sure that when we're spending all this money on construction, we are building into the construction right at the beginning all of the energy saving, energy efficiency, and other sustainable building practices that the council has actually said we'd like to have built in. Typically, those things, even though everybody's for it, but it never quite happens. So how do we do this? What's the best way to ensure that I see Fontaine nodding here, but that we assure that, we're taking advantage of the programs the Department of Water and Power has, and that all the other expertise that's kicking around, some of which retired on Friday, unfortunately.
Right. We included that in the process, in the bid process, and for example, in City Hall, right now, we're considering an outside firm, but also the Department of Water and Power is reviewing the electromechanical systems of the building to ensure that we're doing all the energy efficiency things we can.
Well, I'm thinking of things like you design it so the roof points the right way so you can put the photovoltaics and save yet more money on the energy. Somebody's got to look at that before you throw the building up.
We will ensure that those are in the design documents.
Thank you.
Okay. Mrs. Walters?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. Council members, the library department, I can't speak for the zoo department, but the library department has a history of coming in on or under budget and on time. And so I don't have any concern that these bonds won't be spent in an expeditious fashion, and that the library buildings themselves will be constructed in an expeditious fashion. The zoo, I can't vouch for. I think this is the first time the zoo department, as a department, has of these funds to construct facilities there. Is that right, Mr. Deaton?
they actually had some money in Prop A, and quite frankly, that process was not stellar, shall we say, and one of the reasons that we've changed the process, of course, we've a new zoo director, et cetera, and a whole host of other changes administratively in order to, but they're now on target on the A projects, and with the new bond issue, we're going to, from the get-go, I think, manage that in a much more satisfactory manner than we did the prior bond.
Okay, well, I hope that the addition of this outside project manager won't impede the progress that the library department is accustomed to making on their projects.
It won't.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, we have item 14 before us. Prepare the roll. Tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
That is approved. What'd you say that rate was?
At a true interest cost of 5.206087%.
5.20?
6087%.
Boy, 5.2%, that's terrific. Next item.
We request that item number 39 be continued until Wednesday.
Item 39 continued until Wednesday. If there's no objections, unanimous vote. Next item.
Items number 15 through 44 on the regular agenda.
Okay, we have a card on 33, 37, 38, and 40. Wait a while, let's see the public hearing first. Which one? 15. Okay. Anybody want to be heard on any of the other items? 15 through 44? Seeing none, the public hearing's closed on those items. Now we want to call specials. 36E. Mr. Holden, did you have something you wanted to call special? Oh, tomorrow's, well, that's brilliant. Brilliant. All right, if there's,
Mr. President, there's a request to continue, or to receive and file item 19. That request is on the file.
okay, if there's no objection, that will be the order. So then we'll prepare the roll on 16 through 44 with the exception of 19, 21, 29, 30, 31, 33, 36E, 37, 38, 30, and 40, and 39 has been, and 40, and 41. Tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
Those are approved. Next item,
30, please, John.
forthwith on 30. Next item, 30?
Yeah.
30 has been referred to,
We have to reconsider it. We already reconsidered it. We haven't reconsidered it yet.
we haven't reconsidered yet?
Number 30 is up for reconsideration.
Okay, all right, Mr. Padilla moves reconsideration of 30. There's no objections, so prepare the roll on 30. Tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
That is now we'll send it forthwith. Next item.
Item number 50 and 51 on the continuation agenda.
Any discussion there? 50, 51? Seeing none, prepare the roll, tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
That is approved. Next item. Forthwith on 51. Next item.
Item number 52 on the continuation agenda.
52. Is there anybody who wants to be heard on 52? Seeing none, the public hearing is closed. Any discussion? If not, prepare the...
Yes.
Mrs. Walters?
Right. I'd like for the department to give us the complete cost of this. Is this just for a no-fee banner permit, or are there other costs attendant to this that are being waived?
Is there somebody from the department here? This is something that we've been doing for how long now?
I know it's been a while, Mr. Chair, but I think it's time we know the cost of all of these things. As I look at this motion, it says approval of this request will mean an estimated $11,500 in fees and salary costs will be absorbed by the city.
Right.
Okay. Mr. Hernandez, can you answer this, or you want us to wait for the department?
Well, those are the costs that are involved for the city in regards to the event that are being waived by the city, that we're asking for a waiver for. Other costs that the city basically provides for services are paid back to the city by the event coordinating committee. I, Councilmember Pacheco, Councilmember Padilla, as well as other people in Latino Heritage Month, continue raising the monies to basically cover the costs for that are involved in terms of the city. Most of the costs we cover are city costs, and we do pay them back. So the $11,000 is what we're requesting that the city absorb.
All right, well, I think it says no banner. That's what the summary says, a no banner fee permit, a no cost fee permit for a banner. But the banner is not what's enumerated here in the report. It comes to $11,500. And I think we just, whether we vote for it or vote against it, I think it's time that we know the cost, the actual cost of all these things to the city that we waive.
Right, and what the city's cost is $11,000. That's what we're asking that the city absorb in waivers. The rest of the city's costs are reimbursed to the city.
Well, with KMEX TV, a very prosperous television station, sponsoring this, Univision is a wealthy outfit. Why do we need to waive $11,000 of city money?
And members of the councils, that we all understand, KMEX spends about $300,000 on this event. The actual ceremony is basically commercial-free. There is no commercials. KMEX does not sell airtime for this event. It is simulcast in Mexico City, our sister city. And the president of Mexico, who is also part of the celebration, is basically speaking to Angelinos. It's a traditional event. KMEX, out of their own pocket, is spending about $300,000 for this event. Altogether, the event will probably cost almost $400,000, the celebration. The city of Los Angeles is absorbing $11,000. Cultural Affairs is putting up $35,000 for the Grito. And those are the costs of this event to the city. So 35 and 11, and all the other costs are paid for by the committee.
Okay, well, I want to point out it's still $11,000 to the city in costs that we're waiving.
Right, and
Okay.
I got my button pressed, Mr. President, if I may say a few words.
Okay, Mr. Hernandez?
Mr. President, members of the council, it's my position at this time to basically start the process of passing the baton to my colleagues in regards to this particular event for the city of Los Angeles. And a lot of people might question, why are we celebrating it in Los Angeles? One, it's because of a large Mexican-American population in Los Angeles, American citizens, but also historically, I try and share with people that when Los Angeles was part of Mexico is when the Grito was happening in Mexico. And so it is part of this region. A lot of people have to understand that as much as we believe and we celebrate our American citizenship, this particular region has a history that includes being part of Mexico. And it happened during that era, that celebration of independence from the French and from the European powers, that the Grito was yelled, and it became basically a sounding of independence. And that's part of California history. No matter how we look at it, it's part of the history of Los Angeles. I think that now in an era where communications between Mexico and the United States is increasing, particularly in the area of trades, and us competing with the Eastern Hemisphere, the sister city relationship between Mexico City and the city of Los Angeles, in terms of our harbor, in terms of our airport, is extremely important. So when the president of the country is basically giving the respect of participating in our ceremony, via satellite, via TV, and we're giving them the respect of participating in their celebration, I think it's a strong bond that is being formed. The dollar figures that we're talking about, Ms. Walters, basically are minimal when you look at the impact of the event itself. It's a celebration on the streets of Los Angeles that brings together about 5,000 to 10,000 people, and at the same time, it's a celebration that's international in nature. My previous experiences with the event have included the State Department, have included the Mexican consulate, which is very much part of protocol, and I just urge a unanimous vote. And I'm a native Californian, and I've stated on several occasions, I'm very proud to say I'm a seventh-generation Californian. My reality is, my name is Hernandez, in a city called Los Angeles, or Los Angeles, in a state called California, or California. And it's a strong history, and all we're doing is celebrating our richness. And this year, the theme is bridges, and trying to bring more communities together to have a greater understanding of what our great city is about.
Ms. Goldberg?
Yes, I think that the issue raised is an appropriate one, but I think we need to look at it as an entire policy, because we have events like this throughout the city and everybody's district. We all bring in these motions. And I think if we're going to look at changing it, we should look at changing the policy citywide. And if you wanted to bring in a motion and we'd send it to committee, I would support that, because I think it is a good issue to discuss. But in this particular case, I don't think we should do it one event at a time. And this event is one that we've done this way, and unless we make a policy change that affects all of our districts for all of these various events, I think we should support this today and look at the larger policy issue through budget and finance, because that is a question, but it's not, I don't think, a question that we should bring up one festival at a time. So I'm going to support this motion and urge everyone to do so.
Mrs. Chick?
Yes, my name is Laura Chick, and my daughters will be first-generation Los Angelinos. But I rise in support of this and have two things to add. One, I believe Mr. Hernandez talked about that this is the 30th anniversary of the Sister City program of Mexico City and Los Angeles, and I think that that should be very much highlighted, that this is part of that event. I don't know that that Sister City program was the very first, but it's one of the longest, and rather significant that it's the 30-year anniversary in 1999 as we go into the new millennium. Secondly, and this is probably a question to you, Mr. Hernandez, but it seems to me that since since Univision is involved, that it might be easy to have them work with the city's Channel 35, and perhaps just hand over even a video, but that the event would be something good that would to televise on our own city's cable station. I often think that we're underusing Channel 35 as a tool to bring the different cultures and religions and ethnic groups in the city together. So I'd like to make a friendly amendment that we ask ITA, the staff that are involved with our Channel 35 and 36, to communicate with KMEX and see if, at no cost, we can televise this event on Channel 35, either live or afterwards. Do I have a second?
Second by the chairman of the committee that oversees Channel 35.
Thank you.
I just also wanted to rise in support of the motion. I think this is an appropriate thing to do, and I think we should move on.
Mr. Holden?
Mr. President, I move the previous question after I speak.
Prepare the roll on the previous question.
And I pretty much agree with Ms. Goldberg. I think there's two sides of this coin. However, I think we visited both sides once before when we talked about charging a fee for banners being displayed. And I think we broke that policy when the World Cup came in, and we gave them about a $50,000 plus dollar equivalent credit and let them post banners free for the World Cup. So, I mean, as you establish your policy one day, it goes out of the one to the next day. But certainly, we're in an environment that's not going to change. Mr. Hernandez has clearly pointed out the fact that history has taught us a lesson, and we should remember. I mean, you're going to have in this environment Los Felix, you're going to have San Vicente, you're going to have La Brea and Pico Bullet. It's all there, and it's a long history, although we try to get some of the other things in there, but it's just not going to work out. So I'm going to support Mr. Hernandez and this motion.
All right, thank you.
It should have been unanimous, I think, when we voted for the workers over there at USC, but those guys separated on that issue.
Mrs. Walters?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. When I raised this question, colleagues, I did not raise the question about the efficacy of the event. I did not raise a question about the history of the event. I did not raise a question about the validity of this celebration or who was going to be involved in the celebration other than the commercial station, KMEX. There's a banner request in here that banners be hung, 16 pull-down type banners, and there's no cost included on those banners. The $11,500 in fees and salary costs to be absorbed by the city, I don't know that it includes the banners, and that's the reason I asked for staff, and I've heard all the history of the event and the reason to celebrate it, and but I haven't heard from the staff about the cost of the banners, and maybe Mr. Deaton can give that to me. And as far as policy, Ms. Goldberg, I will be happy to bring in a policy, and I'm glad you mentioned that. I've been talking about this for years, and we keep passing this on to the taxpayers, and so it only, when I raise it one at a time, does it get any kind of attention at all. And again, the question, Mr. Hernandez, is not to the efficacy of the event or the event itself. It's to the attendant fees that the city this motion directs the city to absorb. Mr. Deaton.
Well, two things. One is that the cost to the city are these, waiving these fees. The rest of the cost of banners, et cetera, my understanding would be the sponsor's responsibility, and we would not have any additional cost involved in that. They would have to pay for the banners, et cetera.
But you see, the summary of this comes in that it's a banner fee, waiving a banner fee, a no-fee banner permit, issue a no-fee banner permit.
And that waives the fees relative to what we have for banners in the city. So I as it relates to this particular event, I think that's the cost that's involved to the city, except I don't know about the special event aspect, but just on the banners part. Secondly, as you know, we are reviewing all our banner policy. There is a committee report on this way to council. Our office will have a report when that gets into council relative to fees and a whole host of things due to recent controversies relative to banners. We are reviewing each right now. Even after the council approves the waiving of the fees, we're reviewing, along with Public Works, all the banners for conformance to the ordinance and et cetera. And so there's a hold on a lot of banners right now.
All right, I appreciate that, Mr. Deaton, and perhaps you can give us some advice as these motions are structured, because this one indicates approval of this request will mean that an estimated $11,500 in fees and salary cost will be absorbed by the city. Then further down on the next page, the second to the last moving clause indicates, I further move that the Board of Public Works be requested to issue a no-fee banner permit to the event sponsors for the installation of 16 pull-down type street banners announcing the event. Now, it seems to me that's a separate cost.
Yeah. Can you answer that?
I think there's two aspects. One is the fee banner and the special event. The aspects relative to the banner is the waiving of the fees, and I'll check into it, but I don't think the city has any other cost. As it relates to the special event, then you're waiving other costs that aren't, the dollar amount isn't included here.
All right, Mr. Burnson.
Move the previous question on the entire matter.
All right. Prepare the roll on the previous question. Tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
That is approved. Now we have the matter before us. Prepare the roll. Tabulate the vote.
11 ayes, 1 no.
That is approved. Next item.
Approved as amended, correct?
Yes, approved as amended. Next item.
Item number 15 called special by Councilmember Chick.
Forthwith on item 50, please. Item 15, Mrs. Chick. First of all, we have a card.
Oh, okay.
Leonard Shapiro.
Speaking on item number 15, which refers to setting the salary rate schedule for the anticipated appointment of the department manager of neighborhood councils. I think basically this is a tough job, and it's a job that needs the cooperation of the city council, because there's a lot of people who don't exactly go along with the functions of the Department of Neighborhoods, and it's going to take a real tough guy who understands that the law is the law and it has to be obeyed. The concept of neighborhood councils is very old in the city of LA. It's been going on, as far as I know, at least 5 years. I remember when Joel Wax first got involved with the National Council of Neighborhood Councils around the marina, where they were meeting several times in a week. But now we got the concept on the boards, and it's being worked on, and it's new here, and we understand the big problem is going to be how many people are going to be employed, how much you're going to pay each the manager for if he hires 35 people, or if the department only holds 10 people. It stands to reason that the less people you have there, the less effective job you're going to do, and the less work that it's going to be needed for him to do. But since it's a startup job, and that it's important that the people of LA get an effective working Department of Neighborhoods, and since we have to get these council set up, and whether we're going to set up 35 or 135 is still up in the air, I think it behooves the city council to get as good a person as they possibly can, and you're starting the ball rolling on this by setting this salary schedule. I think it's okay.
We want to know if did you make an application, Mr. Shapiro?
Now that you
We have
mentioned to me,
75 applications, you ought to be one of them.
no, I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't.
The public
but,
hearing is closed.
Maybe I'll take your advice.
Yeah, please. No, you refused to take my advice a long time ago. Mrs. Chick?
Yes, I rise on this item to especially underscore, colleagues, that, as you know, the 7 commissioners for the Department of Neighborhood Empowerment have been nominated by the mayor. We are going into a 2-week recess period, and that starts to shrink the time that we have and the public has to contemplate and interview these commissioners to ensure that the very important job and task before them, not to mention the yet-to-be-named general manager, will be done in the way that the public needs, expects, and deserves. I invite all of you, or your staff, and/or your staff representative, and/or let's say, and all of your community groups that have been contacting you with their interest about charter, and particularly Department of Neighborhoods, to come to the special meeting of the Government Efficiency Committee on Thursday, the first week we're back from recess, September 9th, 10:30, here in City Hall, where all 7 commissioners have been scheduled to come before the committee for committee review before we send on a recommendation to the full council. I think it's very important that this process be contemplative, and that we have an opportunity to talk at length with the nominees. So I hope that either you will come yourselves, send your staff, and invite your community groups that are interested. September 9th, 10:30.
Okay, mark that time down. Prepare the roll on item number 15. Tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
That is approved. Forthwith on that. Next item.
Item number 33, called special by Councilmember Chick.
Well, we have somebody that wants to be heard. Fred Davis. You want to be heard on 33? Fred Davis.
My name is Fred Davis, and I'm one of the owners of the northeast corner of Satakoy and Woodlake, 5-acre parcel. And I'd like to just present a letter to each of the council and thank them for their time. And thank you, Mr. Councilman.
Thank you, Mr. Davis. Okay, Mrs. Chick.
Yes, I called this special because I'm asking for it to be approved as amended, so that I move approval of 33 with the inclusion of 33A.
Okay, prepare the roll on 33A. Tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
That is approved. Next item.
Item 36E, called special by Councilmember Walters.
Mrs. Walters, you called 36E.
Yes, Mr. President, I did call item 36E special for the same reasons that I raised questions about the prior item with respect to the waiving of fees. This is a waiving of $12,400 in fees to be waived, and I'd like to know if that's the total amount from staff, or are there other fees attendant to this? And in the meantime, Mr. Hernandez very graciously came over and showed me a motion that I have on the agenda today for waiving the fees for Alani concert in the park, and wants to know what those fees are, and my staff is bringing those down. Those are fees for a couple of tent canopies and some chairs or whatever that are out there. But this is $12,460 being waived for the Emmy Awards. Now that is an event to which no Angelino without an invitation can attend. It's not a public event. The El Grito is a public event. The concerts in the park are a public event, but the Emmys are not a public event. And we're going to waive $12,460 from those folks. It's a huge business, very expensive business. People are paid very high salaries, but we're going to waive these, and the taxpayers of Los Angeles are going to pay for the Emmys to come and have a private party here in LA, and I don't think that should be approved. And Mr. Deaton, as you're looking at your motion on banners, this is something that should be included.
I want to know, have we waived fees before for groups that, because this isn't about...
Mr. Hernandez.
Mr. President, members of the council, I appreciate the comments. I think I understand where Ms. Walters is going with her questioning. When I showed her the motion, what I was trying to show her is that many motions are passed by this council where those fees are not identified by city staff. And I'm sure her staff, no different than my staff, requested the motion to be drawn by, again, city staff. And so why those fees aren't detailed is a different question. I just want to point out that sometimes we can be, you know, I don't know what the saying is, but a penny wise and a pound foolish. I think that in regards to the Emmys, it's not been the first time we've requested the waiver of these fees. And if many of you remember, there was competition between the city of Los Angeles, was that the Grammys, not the Emmys? And the Emmys, but there's always been discussion as to other cities wanting to have these events as part of their city. One, because it promotes the location. Two, it becomes part of our sales tax base in terms of the retail component and the tourism component and the image of the city. And so, again, I think that the Emmys has been part of what Los Angeles is known for. And the fact that we have them here has been a feather that we've worn on our cap on many years. But there have also been those occasions when there was a threat to lose them. And so I think that is the spirit of why the motion is being introduced, to kind of show a partnership between the organization putting on the events as well as the City of Los Angeles. In regards to community-based event and those types of things, I think that staff needs to recognize that, and I was the one who introduced the motion, that asked when these fee waivers come before us, they have a dollar figure attached to them. And maybe lately, some of these motions have been coming through without a dollar figure attached to it, and that's why Ms. Walters is bringing it to our attention so that we're aware of it. So I just wanted to point those things out. And my reason for giving it to Ms. Walters myself was so that I didn't have to talk about it publicly. I was trying to be discreet about it. So Ms. Walters, I appreciate you making the comments as to what those fees are about and so forth, and I just wanted to point that out.
Okay, Ms. Goldberg? Mrs. Walters?
Yes, I wanted to, and I think Mr. Hernandez is correct. The dollar amount should be in all of these. Item 36B is a request for a 20 by 20 foot canopy and a 15 by 15 foot canopy and a fire marshal to inspect the area and use of the canopies. The total amount of fees to be waived in this for this Lonnie group is $404. That's a long ways from $12,000 for the Emmys and whatever the number is for the El Grito.
Be heard? Okay, prepare the roll on 36E. 36E. Tabulate the vote.
11 ayes, 1 no.
That is approved. Forthwith on that item. Next item.
Item 37.
Leonard Shapiro.
Council members, item 37 refers to the Volunteer Bureau of the Mayor's Office and the $25,000 donation that the Allstate Insurance is giving to him and graciously given him donated, and he wants to accept this donation, and he needs your approval. My experience with the Mayor's Volunteer Office has got something to be said about it. I didn't find them too cooperative. At one time, in '97, I took 1,500 students from the LAUSD on tour of City Hall. And I had to refuse to take another 2,500. So I asked the mayor's office if we could have some volunteers to help me, that I would break them in and they could take the people on tour. He held a meeting. I had 5 people came there from the LAUSD, and the mayor's office came in there, and they decided they didn't like the idea of taking students and citizens of LA, of the city of LA, on tours. And they put the kibosh on it. At that time, I was hurting and I couldn't do too much about it, but I still continue the program that I have on call. But it should be more than that. There's no docents here. Since we moved over, there's no docents available around here, or if they do, they're keeping a very low profile. So the mayor's office is trying to do what can be done for volunteers, and I say they're doing a very poor job. And if they're doing such a poor job, why do they need $25,000 to help them continue to do a poor job? I think there's a lot of volunteers that are necessary, and I think the volunteer system should be stressed in the city of LA, and if nobody else needs volunteers, I can use them on this tour program of having citizens, senior citizens, and students tour City Hall and seeing all the facilities that you spend hundreds of millions of dollars on. It's taxpayers' money. We should look at it.
Okay,
You'd be surprised at all the comments that you get. So I say again, the mayor's office, with the work that he's done on the volunteer program, doesn't deserve this $25,000, even though it's a gift.
Yeah, thank you. We have 37. Prepare the roll. Tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
That is approved. Forthwith on that item. The next item.
Item 38.
Leonard, you want to be heard again?
Yeah, Mr. President, since you made this motion that we have some surplus trucks here, fire trucks, and that the country of Ecuador is in dire straits because of El Nino and the financial system that's tumbling and other problems that they have, then it's a good gesture if the city of LA takes these 2 surplus fire trucks and donates them to the country of Ecuador. Yeah, I think it's a good idea. Why not? if we don't need them, and they've
Yeah,
been
okay.
declared surplus.
Well, thank
and-
you. It's the first time you've agreed with us in a long time. Thank you, Mr.
No, I
Shapiro.
always agree with you when you do something well, but I want to say just one thing there. What is in the surplus pool? How many other fire trucks are in there? How many police cars are in there? Why can't the 15 council members understand what's in there, not just the council president? And if you have the surplus available in
It's
there,
not just the
and it's
council
available for donation for someplace
We're having
besides Ecuador.
we're having a study on that right now. It's in Mrs.
You are?
Chick's.
I'm glad to have it. Let's
in
let the
Mrs. Chick's
people know.
committee, and you can sit down now. Thank you. Okay, prepare the roll on item 36. Yeah. Tabulate the vote.
12 eyes.
That is approved. Forthwith on that. Next item.
Item number 40 called special.
Okay. Charles Church.
Mr. President, City Council members, I'd like to strongly endorse what Councilman Holden is doing here. I'd like to see this done for the whole city. What is happening now with these signs is basically they rely on volunteers to do it. With one man and some community service workers, we could really keep the area clean, and we could report graffiti and trash. The potential is tremendous and the cost is cheap. Please do this, and when he's successful, try to put it in everybody's area.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Leonard Shapiro.
I think the city council should heed the advice just given to them by Mr. Charles Church on what we can do about the sign ordinance. I am very familiar with the sign ordinance. I went down to the department several times, and I've seen the 15 full sheets of papers of law violators that the department people tell me we cannot enforce. We have nobody around to enforce all these. We give them a citation, and that's the end of it. Nobody follows it up. And you got page after page after page. The only one they collect are from politicians, because the politicians usually are easily to pay off. My point is this: if you need volunteers to do certain subjects, let's hire the volunteers, even unpaid, to take these. And I think there's no business for most of these signs to be on public property.
You were just criticizing the volunteer program. Now you are encouraging it.
No, I'm
Make up your
saying
mind, Mr. Shapiro.
This is a job
Okay,
for the
thank you.
volunteers to do.
Thank
They
you.
won't do it.
Thank you.
The volunteers will
Well,
not do
we-
this job,
we
but
wish-
it's something they should do.
We wished you would do that on Tuesdays. Mrs. Chick.
Yes, actually, listening to the speakers, I was wondering if Mr. Holden would share the good idea with us, so that we know what you're doing and can take a look at doing it also in our other districts and incorporate it into the work that the Government Efficiency Committee is going to do on surplus equipment.
Thank you very much. Mr. President, members, we've been for years using city equipment, trucks, but at a high cost to go pull these signs down. And it was coming out of the budget, my office budget. I got my staff guys that says, now I know you're a field deputy, but you got to go out and pull these signs down. It's part of your job. and they would go out and they would do that. And so they go up. My district is hit the hardest, down Crenshaw, down Adams, down La Brea, and so on. And what we're trying to do is that you're up one day, you're down the next day. That's like a zero tolerance program. But we're going to, and the city can't get out and do the job as quickly as the public would like to have them to do it. So that's what my staff does it. My staff fills in, but we have to pay for the vehicle. So now you have a surplus vehicle, which is fine. Let's use that at no cost to us. We just pay for the gas. They can drive it.
Okay, prepare the roll on, what item is it? 40. Tabulate the vote.
12 eyes.
That's approved. Okay. Okay. Doctor, I really appreciate you calling. Thank you. Okay, thank you very much. Bye-bye. Okay, the next item.
Next item is special
What's
number,
on
special 1, which is not on the agenda. Findings need to be made by the city attorney.
Special one, what is that one now?
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. This concerns Assembly Bill 102, which would require expenditures for retrofitting the sound walls, and it's my understanding that there is a meeting that on this before the council comes back into session, and it was just found out that this meeting would happen, and therefore the council would need to make the findings that the need to act arose after the posting of the agenda and that there's an immediate need to act.
Yes, members of the council, this bill would provide an extra
Vote on the findings first.
Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Prepare the roll on the findings. Tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
That is approved. Mr. Burnson.
Yeah, the Wildman bill would provide an extra $60 million for Los Angeles County out of the distribution for the region. And some of the other counties are not thrilled about it, but this would provide for the refinishing of the sound wall project, which originally was started earlier. So I would urge an aye vote on this because it will solve some of the problems that some of you have with sound wall completions in your districts. So I'd ask for an aye vote.
Thank you, Mr. President. I want to thank Mr. Burnson for bringing this motion in. I think all of us who represent districts anywhere adjacent to freeways know the frustration that our constituents face when they ask us to help insulate them from the noise. We say we have to call Caltrans. Caltrans is very unresponsive and says there's no more money here. So Mr. Burnson's motion, which would urge the bill, Assembly to adopt the Wildman measure, is extremely important to the quality of life of our residents, and it's a very good thing for us to support. Urge unanimous support.
Chick.
Yes, I have a couple of areas in my district that are severely impacted by freeway noise, and as the 101 became widened at the Ventura Freeway, the state stopped putting in funds for sound walls. So I had just introduced a motion not long ago, I believe seconded by Councilmember Misikowski, asking for the city to actively look for matching dollars and state funding. So, Mr. Burnson, thank you very much, because if this passes, I expect you'll support me in asking for funds top priority for Council District 3. Thank you very much.
Mr. Galanter.
Yeah, as somebody who represents a district that doesn't have a sound wall that needs one, I would hope that these are, no, it's not just citywide, but this motion refers specifically to sound wall retrofitting. And I just want to make sure that what we're talking about is not just repairing an existing sound wall, but also making sound walls available where they're not yet built. Well, are we pretty clear when it says sound wall retrofitting that repeal the requirement to contribute for new sound wall retrofit projects? But what I'm trying to find out, and I'd appreciate some help from anybody, is whether that means new sound walls to retrofit freeways, or whether it means we're going to have new projects repairing existing sound walls.
It's my understanding that this completes the project which we had outlined before but did not have, what there wasn't funding for. That's my understanding, but I must tell you, I don't know all the details.
Okay, but let me, I mean, I'm perfectly
But
happy
it
to
is
vote for this.
$30 million that we should take.
That we should, absolutely, I'm all for it, take the money and run. But I do have the 90 freeway in my district, which runs right through the middle of residential areas and has no sound walls.
I forgot to say, it's every district with a sixth.
Yeah, right.
There's
All
no-
I want to know is a freeway that doesn't yet have a sound wall eligible for some of this money?
Yes, so they're on the list, and they, and
Yes? Yes, Mr. Karsh says yes, okay.
In 1989, and a lot of them were funded throughout the state. However, most of them were not in Southern California, and that's what this bill is addressed.
I'm all for the bill, I intend to vote for it. I got to check that list with you, though, make sure.
and let me just say that I've worked with Scott Wildman. 134 divides Toluca Lake, And we had public hearings with that, with Bob Hertzberg and Scott Wildman years ago. And it's on the list, but it's there. If you build a new freeway, you get those walls right away. But if you're an old one, you have a long time to get them. So Mr. Hernandez, did you want to be heard?
Mr. President, I had to rise when I was listening to my colleagues. As someone who has 6 freeway interchanges in his district and recognizes that Los Angeles is the freeway capital of the world, the first freeway that was built in the nation, the Arroyo Seco Arroyo Parkway Freeway, is part of my district. And, you know, we're talking about sound walls and buffer zones, and back in those days, they were trying to teach people how to speed in their cars, how to move faster, because they now had access to freeways. But the reality is the infrastructure was not put in place to protect neighborhoods. And I rise to support this legislation. I think it'll affect the priority list of projects that have to get done. But there's no question in my mind that because of some of these older neighborhoods, we have to put a greater emphasis on trying to get the state legislature to deal with the past neglect and lack of planning for the growth that happened on our transportation corridors and the reality of the impact of freeways on neighborhoods. All you got to do is look at the Echo Park Recreation Center, which is in Ms. Goldberg's district and my district. Our reality is you get off the freeway, you're in front of the wading pool for where the children are. And the rec center, the freeway went right between the recreation center. And so we appreciate concepts like sound walls, we appreciate concepts like buffer zones, but they're concepts in our community because we don't see enough of them. And I just wanted to urge us to support this legislation and have a clear understanding that the state has neglected our freeway system and it has to do much more to prioritize it and provide some mitigation for those communities that are already there.
We have a special one, prepare the roll, tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
That is approved. Next item,
Special 2 on the agenda is a hold and fear motion.
Special 2,
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. That is regarding also another bill, AB 83, which is scheduled to be heard in the Senate Review and Taxation Committee on Wednesday, August 18th. As it's currently written, this bill would prevent cities in Los Angeles County from taxing writers, directors, musicians, and other creative workers who work out of their home. And this motion was brought in as a Rule 16 to be placed on today's agenda, and it was referred out. And then this motion is to bring it back to the council for them to vote on it. You need to make the Rule 54 findings or vote also, and then there is an ordinance attached differentiating employees and independent contractors. So the council would need to make the findings.
okay. Prepare the roll on the findings, tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
Okay, now we have special 2 before us. Mr. Burnson?
Okay, basically, this puts into ordinance form a differentiation between employees and independent contractors under the business tax ordinance. It's an issue that's been raised in AB 83 in Sacramento. We are opposing AB 83. This is an issue that the city clerk has already made a finding and a ruling that says this. This just codifies in the business tax ordinance what is and will help us in Sacramento opposing the bill.
This is a direct intervention into local government, is what
Not the
this
ordinance,
amounts
but
to.
AB 83, there's no question.
That's what I'm talking about, AB 83.
Definitely.
So we are to oppose, this will oppose.
We are opposing 83.
Fine.
We are supporting the
Urge
ordinance.
and I vote.
Anybody else? Mr. Fewer?
No one else is speaking, that's fine.
All right, open the roll. Close the roll, tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
Forthwith. Yes, forthwith on that. Next item.
Next items on the agenda are closed session items, so now is the time for public comment, on non-agenda items.
All right, we'll have public comment, starting with Mr. Shapiro. And then Mr. Robinson.
Madam Chairman and council members, It's a pleasure to see you in the chair up there, Ms. Galanta. And I hope you don't start using the phone like your predecessor does all the
It's
time.
okay, he locks it up when I'm here.
Well, I'd like to speak about bus shelters again, even though probably members of this group are sort of tired of hearing about bus shelters. But you haven't heard the last of them by a long shot. Don't forget, right now, the way the problem stands, we have 944 bus shelters in all various stages of disrepair, and we have 400 that are scheduled to be built over the next 4 years, 100 per year. Now, 21 years ago, the City Council decided that every one of the 9,000 bus stops made in the city of LA by the MTA would be equipped with bus shelters, and that was a great idea. And they decided in 1982, they would have 2 contracts for $1,250 apiece for a total of $2,500. And that's the contracts that we're talking about right now that have been enforced. And instead of being put up in 2-3 years, it's taken them 21 years. So what situation is the City Council left and the City of LA? What are they left with right now? You're left with a situation of either standing by your original recommendation, which was made in 1978, that you will put up 9,000 bus shelters, or going along with this catch-as-catch-can misappropriation for 1,400 bus shelters, so that the people who are waiting for the bus in the hot weather can stifle and sweat and burn, and in the cold weather they can either get cold or wet, or various stages of both. Now, these shelters don't cost the city any money. The advertising revenue that they bring in pays for it. You have people ready to build more shelters. You gave out this contract on Ron Deaton's recommendation for 1,400. Good. We need 9,000, so there's 7,600 more that we need. Now, we can request bids on 7,600, and there are people and organizations ready to post $10 and $11 million deposits to make sure they can do it. Now, they can put up the other 7,600. I think the City Council should not stand back and saying we're doing all we can by putting up 100 bus shelters a year for the next 4 years. There's more that you can do. And what you got to do right now is get Ron Deaton working and finding out where you can get contracts to have people put up the other 7,600, so you have a total of 9,000, and this can be done in 2 or 3 years. I suggest that the president and the council members really get active on this point, because there's no reason that the bus riders should be forced to endure these unnecessary conditions. Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Shapiro. Mr. Robinson.
Madam President, Madam President, members, Richard Robinson, neighborhood organizer, 111 West 5th Street, the Frontier Hotel, room number 944. The slumlords who own the Frontier Hotel are placing at risk dozens of children. The manager, Mr. LaFoe, is being attacked by drug pushers and pimps who are soliciting sex from children. Because of its growing popularity, the Frontier Hotel has become a magnet for drug pushers and pimps. Rita, anything you are able to do will protect the lives of those youngsters. I just spoke with Police Chief Parks today. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. That's all the cards we have, so the public comment period is closed. Next item.
Request to be excused from attendance at council meetings. Councilmember Farrell requests to be excused on Friday, August 20th for city business. This meets policy.
Unanimous vote.
Closed session items
Okay,
only.
we're going in executive session, so all those not involved with the executive session, when Shapiro criticizes the president of the council, is that a hate crime, Miss?
I love you.
Miss Gallant, Miss Weinberg? Members of the council, we have how many closed session items? 6 closed session items, so be patient, and we'll get them all done. All those not involved with the executive session, please leave the council chamber. The council is back in open session. Can we do 46 and do them all at once and just... We have the executive session items, let's do them.
We have 45A, 45B, 45C, 45D, and 46 in front of you.
Okay. No, just do, I think you better give the amounts.
45A, recommendation to authorize city attorney to expend $410,000 in settlement of case.
Item B.
Recommendation to allow the city attorney to execute a settlement for $151,000.
Items, yes.
Item C is recommend the city attorney to expend $275,000, inclusive of attorney fees and settlement. 45D is authorize city attorney to expend $180,000 to settlement case. And 46 is authorize the city to acquire for the purchase price of $914,200.
Which one is the word Christian, Mr. President? Which one is word Christian?
Prepare the roll.
Which one is word Christian?
Warren Christopher.
The world Christian.
That, we did that in closed session. Tabulate the vote.
You put me down as a no vote.
12 ayes.
No, you voted yes.
I wanted to be no. Recorded
Okay,
as
well,
no.
we'll let the record show he voted no on that other one. Yeah. Give my best to E.V. Hill. Okay, we do have some adjourning, anything else?
The
We have
desk
some
is clear.
adjourning motions. Laura, you can leave. Members of the council, Pee Wee Reese passed away. Pee Wee Reese was one of the great Dodger players of all times in the 40s and the 50s. And I'd ask that we adjourn in his memory. I'd like to point out that his full name was Harold Henry Reese. And Harold Henry was my predecessor in this 4th district. So some of you young people don't remember that. But all members on Pee Wee Reese. He's a member of the Baseball Hall of Fame. He played a significant part in the acceptance of Jackie Robinson as baseball's first black player. And he became an announcer after his baseball career ended. Ms. Galanter?
Thank you. I'd like to ask that we adjourn in memory of Rocky Candell, who is survived by his girlfriend, Kim Espinoza, his daughter, Farah Nicole, and his 4 brothers, Rick, Kelly, Terry, and Casey. I think all of you know Kelly, if not the others.
I'd like to second that, please.
Ms. Goldberg?
Yes, I actually have 2. The first was a very dear and close friend of mine, Florence B. Cogan, Florence Block Cogan. She was the wife of Julius Cogan, who has already passed as well, but she was a wonderful woman, a loving mother, a sister, an aunt, a grandmother, a loyal friend. She spent her life working with organizations that fought for peace and justice and women's rights. She worked many years with her husband Julius in the assurance business, and in her later years she volunteered working with children and political campaigns. She loved gardening, music, plays, reading, traveling, and being with her close group of friends and taking care of her grandchildren. She is survived by her son Michael and his wife Patricia Cogan, her sister Marcella Erickson and Betty Heck, a niece Linda Plotkin, and grandchildren Nina, Jamie, Aaron, and Peter, and very dear friends Joyce Fruchter, Gusty Seibel, and myself as well. She will be very much missed. I know you've already adjourned in this second one, but several employees of the city have asked for me to read a little more information about it, and that is they are relatives and friends of the victim of the shooting of the post office worker, Joseph Santos Iledo. And they asked because they are relatives and live in the 13th Council District for me to just give you a little bit more information about him. Joseph Santos Iledo was born March 19, 1960 in the Philippines and came to Los Angeles at age 14, where he attended Virgil Junior High School. He lived in the Temple Street neighborhood. He graduated from Shore High School in Montebello and studied at East LA College. At 7, his father taught him to play chess. He had a great love of chess and became a chess champion, was featured in Chess Magazine and in the LA Times. He was competitive always in basketball. He liked Scrabble and other board games. His family described him as a hard worker and someone who would blend in the crowd and never wanted to be the center of attention. He always had a warm smile and a kind heart. The greatest tragedy is that a kind-hearted man who led a simple life was murdered brutally by a person who was filled with hate. We need to remember that Joseph was more than just a, quote, non-white government worker, end quote. He was a Filipino-American with a close-knit family, a warm personality, and a loving soul. He was a real person. His family comes from a proud lineage, including generals and diplomats. He was the great-grandson of the Philippine General Rafael Ileto. Following Philippine tradition, the council will be holding a 40-day mass starting this week. The family and the entire Filipino-American community asked the City Council, the Jewish community, and the entire community at large in joining them in demanding that justice be served, because the attack on justice was an attack on all Americans. Let us not forget that a Filipino-American was killed, a devoted public servant who became a victim of violence and hatred. His name was Joseph Santos Ileto. Donations for the funeral may be sent to the family, payable to the Joseph Ileto Trust Fund in care of Washington Mutual in Monterey Park. Thank you very much.
President,
Mr. Holden.
Mr. President, I ask that we adjourn in memory of a dear friend to our entire community, religious leader, Reverend John C. Bain. He was 95 years old, and he was the assistant minister. He was the minister, Holman Methodist, United Methodist Church, where he was a member for more than 45 years. They held funeral services for him yesterday, but we just got the word today, and we ask that we adjourn in his memory. His wife is Dr. Josie Gray Bain. She served on the school board temporarily for a while, and he has a son, John David Bain III. Mr. President, while as I stand, I think that we should adjourn in memory of all those people in Turkey who lost their life at the results of the earthquake. It's a tragedy, a major tragedy in our world, and certainly we should adjourn in their memories and hope to wish the nation well.
I'd like to be a second on the Baines one, please.
Mr. Waters?
Yes, I'd like to be a seconder on the Reverend Baines memoriam as well. I attended the service yesterday, and it was a beautiful service. He was, as so many of the speakers at the service described him, as a gentleman. I met Reverend Bain in the early 60s when several family members became members of his church that he was pastoring, Vermont Square United Methodist Church. And he ministered to that side of our family for a lot of years. He also found a great deal of time to serve on various committees and activities with the Los Angeles Unified School District, and gave always superior service in whatever activity he was called to participate. He certainly was a gentleman. He was a man of peace. He was a man who commanded great respect, and he is a tremendous loss to this community.
Mr. Hernandez?
Mr. President, I'd like to join Councilmember Goldberg on the adjournment motion for Joseph Ileto. I'd like to be able to sign on it, and
We did that, Mr. Bernstein
But
Running
I also wanted to point out, Council President Ferraro, even though you make us all feel very young, I wanted to make some comments about Pee Wee Reese, because a lot of people don't know that he got his name as Pee Wee Reese because of a marble, but he was a marble champion. And the uniform number he wore was number 1, and it was retired and put into the Hall of Fame. But when you talked about him helping people accept Jackie Robinson, what he ended up doing was putting his arm around them when there was a lot of resentment and misunderstanding as to new types of players coming into the league simply because of their color. And Pee Wee Reese wanted to show the world by putting his arm around them that this was his teammate. And that was the kind of example we need more people showing on an ongoing basis.
The council is adjourned.
Mr. President, before we adjourn, I'd like to take just a couple minutes to introduce the children and grandchildren of my chief of staff, Delpha Flad. It's Phil and Diane Flad are the parents, and the twins are Thomas and Nicholas. And they're visiting here from Atlanta.